Yes, indeed it is. Open frame number 3 out of 7 for Thomas Lee Anderson.
That was totally down to Thomas changing his line and playing a totally different part of the lane. And he got hooked up in the oil conditioner on the outside of the lane and just didn't get back.
Well, you can't believe what you're seeing. That scorecard attached to that name, that doesn't compute at all.
No, and he's talking to himself as well now and picking his fingers, so it's nervous times for the European captain.
Oh, Kaminski way too high on the headpin there. A guy staying clean, that's the good news, but he's just not finding strikes. He's had 1.
Well, this is the thing, that he's making spares, and that's getting him bonus balls. The next ball is a bonus score, whether it be high or low. And high backswing from Guy. Not the greatest shot height of the headpin, and he doesn't like that. Look at that reaction. Looks down at the lane, not getting the reaction he wants at all off the ball.
Staying clean.
Makes the spare and stays clean, as you say, and advances his score, because Thomas, with 3 open frames, is looking out to lunch at the moment, I'm afraid, after 7 frames.
Well, he's got the double as well, Lee Anderson. That cancels out one of those open frames, but it's a pretty ropey pair of scores we're seeing here from these two fellas. They're dragging each other down at the moment.
Thomas has taken yet another re-rack. There's obviously a problem down there that he's not happy with.
Is this a machinery problem, or is something just messing with Thomas's mind? Is he just allowing himself to be put off things mentally at the moment?
Well, those pins have to stand up in a perfect triangle, and normally if they're on spot they are, but he's had a look down from 60 feet away and thinking maybe there's a chink of daylight coming through from somewhere, so maybe a pin's not been set quite rightly, and he's allowed to have a couple of re-racks throughout the game, and he's just taken his second one.
Can you just re-rack and re-rack, or would Bernie White, our referee, step in and say, no, I've had enough of this at some point?
2 re-racks is normally what you're given, and that's a much better shot.
But the 9 doesn't want to know.
Well, again, a much better shot, made the pocket, and just got a little bit of overreaction in the back end, and that's cut through and missed that 9-pin. This really was a lot better ball. Yeah, down about 12 ball, just inside second arrow, and just hooked up at the end there, leaving that single pin. But hopefully this is going to be a spare for him, and he'll be able to regroup and work on that one.
Well, he's having a tough time out there, Thomas. I forget what his score is, maximum score is, but I'm pretty sure it's dropped below 200, probably dropped below 190 now. And he's just got to make sure of that. He does. But it's a nasty looking scorecard from Lee Anderson, and if Guy Kaminski had put up more than 1 strike, I mean, the Swede could have a mountain to climb.
And I don't know any mountains in Sweden, do you?
Look at that. 3-2-3, strikes, spares to opens, horrendous.
A maximum 186 game for Thomas Lee Anderson if he strikes out with 4 more strikes, but who's to say he's not going to open up again.
Now, where's the strikes for Guy?
Go on.
The 10 is not going to go, so he's got a chance to stay clean, but again, you're looking at a card that's downright bizarre for Guy Kaminski. He's going to have 1, assuming he gets this pin, he's going to have 1 strike and 7 spares.
Well, let's face it, he's not bowling to his greatest ability, but he is making spares, which is something that younger bowlers can look at and learn from. It's no good getting frustrated if you're not striking. You just have to keep making those spares, and it's keeping him in the lead, because Thomas, his opponent, is not playing well at all. And there's another spare, so in theory he's not playing the best, but he's advancing his score and staying in the lead.
He has a 20-pin lead. It could have been so much better for him, but as you say, he is sparing well. It's you don't often see a card like that, though.
Yeah, just a little nervous chat to himself and a few deep breaths. Regrouping. It's the foundation frame. It's frame 9, and it will be Thomas Lee Anderson to get up and shoot, working on a spare.
And you just don't know what's coming with Thomas. The last one was a nice pocket hit. The one before that was a catastrophe. He's missed the headpin a couple of times as well. What are we going to get now? That's about as good a hit as he's had all game.
Yeah, nice and straight down the line. Not crossing too many boards. None of this coast-to-coast stuff. He's straight down second arrow. Needed a little boost to help his confidence, because he was just falling apart and the score wasn't looking too good. Striking frame 9.
So if this one goes according to the form book, And it'll be another spare for Kaminski. Lee Anderson's got a chance to chip away at this lead. Guy really needs a strike, and he doesn't get anywhere near it. That's a shocker. They call it the washout. You miss the head pin and you leave the 10 pin standing. It's a washout, and that's what this was.
Very similar to the last washout, which he spared. This is the 1, 2, 6 and the 10. Again, he's got to hit that head pin on the left-hand side, bounce it across, take the 6 and the 10 out. Easier than it looks. It looks good on TV. Unfortunately, it's just a 6 and an open frame. Really went about that the wrong way, I'm afraid. Opens up in frame 9 and basically sort of squares this match up.
Well, it's ridiculous, isn't it? Guy's been leading all the way. He's had opportunity after opportunity to really build a lead. There's a chance at the halfway point he's now going to be behind.
Pim Masters, Thomas Lee Anderson against Guy Kaminski. This is the 10th frame of the opening game. Commentary from Cass Edwards and Nick Halling.
But it's setting himself up for the 10th frame, and this really has to be a good shot. He's working on a strike. Anything less than a strike is going to be sub 170. This needs to be 10. And it's not, it's only 7. That ball's hurried on again now. It may be that lane conditioners moved down the lane with Thomas's ball, and he's looking really lost, I'm afraid.
Well, what's going on? We know it's no big-time nerves or anything like that, not with this fella. And we know he's bowled on this lane before. He's bowled in this arena before.
He was upset with his sliding foot initially. He's then been upset by possibly some pins off spot in the rack, which he managed to reset up, and I think it's just done his mind in for the whole game. And that's not going to spare, is it?
Well, oh, he got away with it, didn't he?
I don't know if he's stuck again there, but the stray ball and the spare ball has taken that one away. He's earned a bonus ball in the 10th frame.
So he's going to be in the 160s. You believe that?
A strike for 166.
Thomas Lee Anderson bowling 166.
I don't think I've ever seen him bowl a game that low.
Well, he had problems a few years ago here when he was beaten by the women's world champion Mel Isaac of Wales, if you remember. He was all over the place there. Blame the lane, of course, as you do.
I promised Thomas that we wouldn't raise that topic, but you've done it, and no doubt on the replay you'll hear it and have something to say. But
I think he's bowling even worse in this game than he was in that one.
This is not his best game. A strike for 166, and he's totally confused, I would say, at this moment.
That was an absolute shocker of a shot. It really was. 164, and Thomas is just going to have to think, well, can I survive this? Because the good news is his opponent isn't exactly tearing it up either, but that last shot of Thomas is dead on the head pin, never a chance, and 164 for Thomas Lee Anderson. Unbelievable.
He's not very happy with the ball reaction he's getting in the back end. It's hooking up on him early, or it's not hooking at all. So he's got no happy medium at this particular time.
And talking of no happiness, Guy Kaminski, well, he's got a chance to get back in front here, but Guy has to go all the way back to frame 2 to find his one and only strike of this match. And here we are in frame 10. Can he pull out another one? It's going very wide. Oh, that could have been an absolute disaster. It hooked in very late. Nearly got the lot as well.
Well, it was almost a 2-8, almost a 2-8-10. He's very fortunate just to leave the single pin, playing a deep inside line there around fourth arrow. But see how wide the ball goes, and it comes hooking back. Unfortunately, it's light and it hasn't got enough drive.
He's got, with a spare here, he will take the lead.
Yeah.
It's a single pins lead.
Earns himself a bonus ball in the 10th frame as Jens looks on.
It's Jens Nicol, the reigning champion here, who got through his first round match against Dominic Barrett by the skin of his teeth, and